Alright, here goes. Interesting. Alright, so move -1 means that the normals are not going to move and the elite is only going to move 1. So let's resolve that. But first, I go first. Okay. So we are going to resolve Rock Slide here. And we want to place the boulders such that they are adjacent to every single one of these golems, so that they will all take 2 damage. 2 direct damage at that, so this is really good for piercing through their shield. I decided this is the best formation because it really blocks the elite off from being able to reach us. And this will cause 2 direct damage to all of them, bypassing the shield. Right, so that resolves Rock Slide. We are not going to bother with experience here. And neither are we going to bother with elements. I don't think elements are going to be really relevant. I think. We'll see if that's the case. But yeah, we'll just remember that Earth is infused this round. So that's done. Now, the real question. Do I resolve Juggernaut for its effect? I'm going to play risky here and say I'm going to save Juggernaut so that I can preserve my longevity. Yeah, I think I'm gonna save Juggernaut here. That's pretty crazy, but we'll save it. So that means it's discarded. Alright, so that's Rock Slide resolved. Now let's resolve the Stone Golems. As I said, they don't do anything because they are not in melee range. Only the elite gets to move 1. It doesn't really matter where I move it here, whether I move it left or right. So that's done, and we will finish the round. Now what do I do next? Next, I want to set up my Mind's Weakness, and we'll move late in the turn in case they manage to run all the way over to my tile. At least I'll be able to perform a melee attack. If I go before them, if I go after them, sorry. If I go before them, you know, nothing's within my melee range, so I'm not going to get the Mind's Weakness off. So what bottom card should I pair with it? Normally I'll play Perverse Edge here for the stun, but nothing is within range 2 either, so there's a very good chance that my range 2 stun does nothing. So instead of that, I think what I want to do is to play Reviving Ether for the move 4 jump. Probably the most flexible of my move cards, allows me to get wherever I need to depending on how the monsters move. So because Reviving Ether is an AT, I actually want to play it as my initiative. The later in the turn I go, the better. Right, so we're going to lock those in and draw our next round's cards. Retaliate 3, range 3, interesting. So that resolves. And now we have to decide whether we want to perform an attack. We would be doing a 3 damage attack, which will be mostly mitigated by the shield. And then we'll take retaliate damage. It doesn't sound very palatable, so we are not going to resolve that. Instead, we are going to simply put Mind's Weakness into play, and then discard the Reviving Ether, not moving at all. Alright, let's get rid of the start tile since we are starting here. By the way, we started here because we wanted to be as far away from all the golems as possible, so as far back as possible. Yeah, I mean, the move 4 could be resolved in a number of ways, but no matter how I resolve it, it will always bring me closer to a golem, which is not good. Right, so this will do, and we will finish the turn. This one's tricky. I think we can perform the combo now, backstab into Balance Measure. Seems reasonable. The trouble with this is it probably isn't an outright kill. I'll need to get pretty lucky with this. But I think it's doable. Right, we'll just resolve this. Right, so let's lock it in and hope that the golems don't do anything too nasty. Gonna start the round. Alright, so the golems are gonna impale themselves with 1 damage, but not before moving a bunch. Alright, so the elite is gonna get a move 3, and the normals are gonna get a move 2. Right, so here's my thought. The initial plan for me was to execute my combo, moving a bunch, and then performing a melee attack on Golem 6, hoping that it kills Golem 6. The trouble with doing this is the elite can simply scoot over to my side, move 3, and perform a melee attack. So I'm going to take a bunch of damage. However, given that I've already played the combo, I think no matter what I do, there is no way around it. I'm going to have to get hit by the elite golem, no matter what I do. I mean, I could target the elite golem by moving here with my big move, but my attack's definitely not enough to finish off the elite golem unless I get a crit. I can't really rely on that, and if I don't crit, I'm going to get massacred by these golems. So I'm going to make the safe play here and stick with my plan. I'm going to target down golem 6, right? So first I'm going to do a move 8. So we are going to use the Boots of Striding here. So it will turn my move 6 into a move 8. So I'm going to move 8 right now. Let's move over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, that's not how it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Alright. And then we are going to smack the golem silly with a 10 damage attack on balance measure. It's attack 8 because I move 8 tiles plus Mind's Weakness, so that's a total of 10 damage. So we're going to resolve that. Before we resolve that, 10 damage is not enough to kill the golem. I would love to kill it, so I'm going to use my Eagle Eye Goggles here. That's a good point. Something else I could do is to, instead of moving to there, I could move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could move myself into this corner here and use the battle axe to hit the two of them. I think this is far more optimal. I think so. Let's do this. So, yep, I'll take that back. My move 8 is going to be to this tile. And I'm going to smack them both with my super powerful attack. I guess it's time to use, to pull out all the stops here. So I'm going to use Battle Axe and Eagle Eye Goggles. This means that I'm going to hit both monsters with advantage for 10 damage. Alright, it will not kill the elite golem unless I crit. But I hope I can bring down the normal golem. If neither of them die, I'm going to be in serious trouble. Alright, so let's see how this resolves. Okay, we'll start with the elite golem. Right, here we go. +1, +0. I said I was targeting the elite golem, so it takes 11 damage. But it has 3 shield, so 11 minus 3, it takes 8 damage, leaving itself with 5 health. Now we'll target the normal golem with advantage. Don't forget it's shield 2. So let's see if we can draw a +1 to kill it. We're going to draw with advantage. +1, there it is, and a +0. So it's going to take 11 damage, minus 2 shield. So that's 9 damage. It is dead. Nice, that was a pretty good move, and that ends our turn. The stone golems now get to move. Starting with the elite golem, it is going to stay in place and perform a melee attack on me. A modifier card, 6 damage. Oh dear. That is a lot of damage. I wish I put Juggernaut up now. We are going to tank the 6 damage. Right? Now the normal is going to move 2 steps, but it's not in melee range, so that's it for the stone golem. Right, I think we definitely play Perverse Edge here for the stun. We want to stun the elite so that it doesn't get to do much. And then, yeah, I don't know. We can play Skirmishing Maneuver, but it really won't do a lot of damage to the stone golem. But I don't think we really have much else we can do. Alternatively, right, this has a lot more potential to deal damage because it is a base attack 4, right? So we are gonna get more damage in because of the high shield value. So this is probably a good pairing because it's stun with stun. So what this means is that I'm able to stun both of the golems. So let's play those 2 cards. And they are move 0, attack 0. Okay, sure. Let's resolve our turn first. We are going first, and we are going to stun both monsters. So let's just get the stuns out there. So if it's not clear by now, we are going to perform Perverse Edge bottom on the normal golem and Shield Bash top on the elite golem. Let's resolve the bottom first. So we are going to attack 1 range 2 stun the normal golem. Let's draw an attack modifier. +1, so that's no damage because it's 2 shield. Now let's resolve the top. Shield Bash is going to do 4 plus 2 damage from Mind's Weakness, total of 6 damage to the elite. Let's draw a modifier. It's a +0, so 6 damage minus 3 shield is going to take 3 damage. And that's my turn. We're going to infuse ice, but I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but we are not going to keep track of elements. Hopefully we won't need them. So this is discarded, and this is lost because this is a lost action. And we are done. Now the stone golems are stunned, neither of them get to act. And the turn's over. Now let's play our final 2 cards. Their initiatives are not amazing, but we'll pick the higher initiative nonetheless, locking it in. Alright, let's start the round. Alright, they are going to move very little, but they're going to attack with a lot of strength. So we want to get out of their movement range. This means being one, I'll need to be in range 3 or higher from the elite stone golem. Right, we are going to Skirmishing Maneuver first. We are going to use the top of Skirmishing Maneuver for 2 attacks. Right, we are obviously going to target the elite. So let's start with the first targeting of the elite. It only has 2 health left, but whittling away at that is going to be pretty tricky. So we're going to perform an attack 2 +2 because of Mind's Weakness, so it's going to be an attack 4. We'll draw a modifier, +1, so that's 5 damage, mitigated by 3 shield, it is dead. So let's remove it from the game. Right, it took 2 damage and it's gone. Right, we'll continue resolving. Skirmishing Maneuver, it's going to move 2 and then attack 2. So we move 2, and then we attack the stone golem. 4 base, 4 damage again, drawing attack modifier, +0, so 4 damage minus 2, 2 damage. And then that's Skirmishing Maneuver settled. This is a discard. Then we are going to perform Brute Force here. Move 2, shield 1 self. I'm just going to discard it because the shield is not going to matter. We are going to move here. Right? Then the stone golem cannot reach us because there's a movement of 0. So that's our turn. And oh, sorry, no. I want to move 1 more tile. I'm going to use the full move 2 of Shield Bash. Sorry, not Shield Bash. Brute Force here. Right, I'm going to move 2 tiles out of the way because I'm about to long rest. Now, the game, I'm not sure how to long rest in Tabletop Simulator. I don't see a long rest button anywhere, so I'll have to resolve this manually. Let's pull out all our cards to see what we have and what we're going to do. So, we are going to have to lose 1 card. We have nothing in our hand right now, just to be clear. But I'm just planning out my long rest here. So I definitely want to keep my backstab balance measure combo, and I cannot lose Reviving Ether. So we don't really have a lot of options left. I think I'm going to lose Brute Force here. Right, then I'll just recover these 7 cards. Now I could also recover the Mind's Weakness to give me a bit more longevity. Right, I don't want to waste time setting it up again. Alright, so we are going to plan to lose Brute Force. I'm just going to put this card here so that I can resolve the start round. So we're going to start round. Right, remember that we declared a long rest here. So the stone golem is going to move first because my initiative is 99 because I'm long resting. The stone golem gets to move 2 and attack 3. That's unfortunate because this is enough move to get it in range of me, and it's going to do 3 damage. +0, so I take 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. Ouch. Yeah, I'm down to 5 health, but now the long rest resolves, so now it's my turn. I'm going to heal 2 health from the long rest. I'm going to lose a card of my choice, which is Brute Force. And I am going to refresh all my items. Well, at least those that can be refreshed, which are Eagle Eye Goggles and the boots. Alright, so the golem has 7 health. Now I could very easily finish it off with the combo. But I hope to preserve the combo for opening the next room. So what I would like to do here is actually to perform the Skirmishing Maneuver. Would that kill it? No, it's not really enough to kill it. Okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep the golem inactive by playing the bottom of Perverse Edge, which provides the stun. Then I'm going to Rock Slide for direct damage. And it will also set up more boulders in the room. So let's lock that in and start the round. Right. this doesn't really matter because I'm going to stun it. So we are going to perform Perverse Itch on the Golem. We are in melee range, I believe, so we are attacking at disadvantage, drawing a +0 and a miss. So that attack missed, doing 0 damage, but we still apply the stun. Next, we are going to Rock Slide. Right, we are going to use a top-down view here so that you can see what's happening. I'm going to put the rock here to deal 2 damage to the Stone Golem. And I'm going to spawn 2 more rocks so I can create a little maze where melee non-flying monsters have to move all the way around. And then, yeah, let's resolve the 2 damage. So that puts the Golem at 5 health. It also infuses Earth, whatever that's worth. And they're both discarded. Right, so because the Golem was stunned, it doesn't get to move, and we finish the round. Now I'm going to perform the Skirmishing Maneuver, which hopefully finishes off the Golem. In the event that it doesn't, I'm going to use the bottom of Juggernaut to mitigate damage. So let's lock in those cards, both root cards, and we'll start the round. Oh, come on! It had to move first. Okay, so that happens. It performs a ranged attack, which means that it actually... Ooh, that is nasty. Of all the cards to draw, really? Okay, so this is really nasty because the Golem actually moves out of the way so that it will perform its ranged attack without disadvantage. And it's going to resolve the ranged attack, which is base attack 2. Alright, so base attack 2. Gonna draw 2 damage. Right, so we lose 2 health. It's also gonna move, pull 2 and immobilize. So that happens. Right. Ouch. That is just a very nasty card. But thankfully that's over. So the Stone Golem's done. Now our turn to move. We are going to first perform the Skirmishing Maneuver. That's attack 2 followed by attack 2. Alright, so let's resolve the first attack 2. Yep. So the first, I'm not gonna use Eagle Eye Goggles for this. On average, yeah, I think I want to use Eagle Eye Goggles here. I want to ensure that the Golem dies. So we are gonna expend the Eagle Eye Goggles. And we are going to perform 2 attack 2s on the Golem. So our first one with advantage is +1 miss. Alright, so now we know that if we didn't use the Eagle Eye Goggles here, we wouldn't have killed the Golem due to the miss. So the first attack does 5 minus 2 shield, 3 damage. The second attack does 3 damage. So a total of 6 damage. That is more than enough to kill the Golem. Right, so that's done. So all monsters in the first room have been dealt with. And we can give ourselves a pat on the back for that. So we have used this attack of Skirmishing Maneuver, and then we are going to lose Juggernaut to put it into play. On the next 3 sources of damage, I take no damage. So let's put that here. And it's also very important to note that because we have finished our full turn, we lose the Immobilize that the Golem gave us this turn. Alright, so that's us done. What the long rest will achieve is it will give me 2 more health, but it will also give me my Eagle Eye Goggles. It will return it to me. The other option I have is to perform the combo and then perform a short rest after that, because the combo means that I'm going to open the new room and expose a lot of monsters. So that's going to be a very scary thing to happen. I have Juggernaut to protect me for now, but it's not going to last very long. And I'll be inside the new room stuck with all the monsters. So yes, I would need to short rest. Yeah. I think I prefer... The thing is, if I short rest, I will lose access to my Eagle Eye Goggles. Wow, this is a tough decision. It really is between getting my items back and getting my goggles back and not getting my goggles back. And also getting 2 health back, which is actually quite relevant. Alright. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to long rest. I'm going to play these 2 cards. But I'm not going to move into the new room just yet. I'm just going to move right outside the door. And I'm going to discard these 2 cards. Then I'm going to long rest. So let's long rest here. And resolve the long rest because there are no monsters. I don't have to worry about this. I'm just going to heal up. Take 2 health back. And then I'm going to lose a card of my choice. There are only 5 cards. Wait, alright, let's pull everything back into my hand. I'll have to lose one of these cards here. Probably Skirmishing Maneuver. Yep, that seems reasonable. And I'm going to refresh my Eagle Eye Goggles. Right, so that's the long rest resolved. Now let's head back to the board to see what we're going to do. Well, there's not much question. We're just going to play the combo. So let's resolve this. We're going to start round. Right, we are going to play the combo. It doesn't really matter which initiative we are using because when we reveal a new room, the monsters will get to all act anyway. So we are going to perform backstab. And because we have the boots, we might as well use them here. So we are going to perform move 8 into an attack 10. Right, so that should be able to dispatch one big enemy of our choice. So let's proceed with the room opening. Our first movement step is going to be onto the door. So let's resolve the door. Alright, so this is a sticky situation here. But we'll see what we can do. So, where we left off... I really should stop dragging these. Alright, where we left off, we were 1 movement into our move 8. We use our boots already. So I am thinking of resolving the move and using it to flee from the room, and we'll see how the monsters move, and I'll decide whether I want to stick with it or not. Right? Let's just move the figurines around and do a little simulation to see if running away really is the best idea. So this is my first move. We're going to move 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ending on this tile. The cave bears will move. Cave bears have a movement of -1. So that's move 3 for both the elite and the normal. So that's the cave bear. Now living spirit. Living spirit has a movement of -1 too. So -1 is 3 for the elite and 2 for normal. So let's resolve the elites first, starting with number 5. They are flying. Finally, the drakes move. Drakes are the last ones, and they have very formidable movement. Move -1 as well, but that's still a move 2. Right, so I'm going to resolve my movement as such. I'm going to finalize this. I would love to summon a bunch of rocks around these enemies, but unfortunately Rock Slide only allows me to create obstacles within range 4. So I need to wait for them to move into this room before I can slide rocks on them. And yes, Rock Slide is going to be a very key card in this configuration because it's my only AoE damage. Ranged AoE at that. So it can potentially take out the living spirits bypassing the shields. They are the only shielded enemies remaining. So if I can land 2 rock slides on the living spirits, I'm in a very good spot. So that would be the objective here. Alright. I think I'm going to let it resolve as such because there is no way I'm going to stay in the second room. That is just suicidal given the muddle poison AoE attack. I mean, just muddle poison range attack of the drakes plus all the living spirits converging on me with their range attacks. That's just not going to happen. Right, so I'm going to resolve, I've resolved this in fact. Move 8, discard, and the attack is not going to be used. I think I have to use Reviving Ether here. Right, the problem with Ether is that it's a top card. The Ether's effect is a top card, it's a top half. So on the turn I use Reviving Ether, I'm essentially losing 1 turn to the monsters. So if I'm going to lose 1 turn, which I'm going to, I have to use Ether at some point, I'd rather lose it use it when... Oh, whoops. Yeah, I'd rather use Ether when I'm not in that much danger yet. You know, the monsters are still fairly far away. Rather than to use it later on when monsters are converging on me. So I think I have to lock this in. It has to be this way. I can choose early or late initiative. I'm going to choose late initiative because that will allow me to potentially get my Perverse Edge off, which is a range 2 attack. Currently, there are no monsters within range 2. There might be once I take my turn. So we're going to lock this in. We're going to flip these cards and hope that we don't die while we perform the Reviving Ether. Alright, I'm also going to start keeping track of the elements because we know that living spirits can consume ice. So we have to be careful of that. Alright, here goes nothing. I could very well die, but well, so be it if I do. Start round. Right, the cave bears go first. I do not get any say in this. Let's move the camera over to see what the attack is. There's no attack. There is no attack. They stay where they are. Okay. Let's look at this, the other stuff. The drakes don't move. They perform a range attack with stun, but they are all out of range of me, as we deduced last time. Oh jeez, this is a terrible card. Attack stun. Oh dear. I hope that doesn't come out too often. So the only things that can do stuff are the living spirits. I think they will get to do stuff. Okay, interesting. The living spirits get to move next. And the elites will move 3 and attack range 4. Uh-oh. Do it like that. So it moved 3 steps, range 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm barely in range, so I'm gonna get hit by the living spirit. Great. That's not good. How much damage? -1 and muddle. So that's 3 damage. 3 damage plus 0, which is 3 damage, doesn't matter. It triggers Juggernaut. It also muddles me. This puts it in range 4 of myself, and it will do the same thing. Let's draw a card. +1. Doesn't matter as usual. I block it. And I take another mother token, which, you know, doesn't really matter. Let's put this here. Alright. So that's the elites. Let's see if the normals get to hit me. Definitely not within range. And this one moves 2. Also not within range. Right, so the living spirits are done. They have moved and attacked, and now it's our turn. We get to move before the spitting drakes. So let's resolve our attack. Perverse Edge is not going to hit anyone, so we are not going to use it for its attack. Instead, we are just going to move further away from the action. Yeah, so I'm still probably vulnerable to the elite living spirits, but at least right now, I'm further away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm 5 range from the elite spirits, which means that they have to draw a card that says move and attack in order to reach me, or draw a card that says range +1. Otherwise, I'm out of reach. If they only attack at range 4 without moving next turn, I'm safe. So that's the main purpose of moving out of the way. Yeah, my alternative is moving further up, which is probably not a good idea, right? Given that I'm not attacking this turn, I'm just using Reviving Ether. So that infuses darkness, and I lose this permanently, so I'm gonna move it to the... Alright, this is done. I've used it for the move 2, and then I'm gonna lose this, and it says recover all your lost cards. So I'm gonna take all the lost cards back into my hand. This one, this one, this one. It's not a lot. Yeah, that was not a very good ether. Alright. How much health do I have? 7. Right, I think it's a good time to use my healing potion as well. That will put me up to 10 health. So let's update that. right? So now I'm at 10 health. The model goes away because I finished my turn. And I think that's about it. I don't think I'm using any other items here. And now we are going to Rock Slide. Definitely Rock Slide. The question is, do we Rock Slide with late or early initiative? In any I think... Let me look at the board. If I Rock Slide early, there aren't... yeah... This is troublesome, isn't it? Right, if I move first before all the monsters and perform Rock Slide here, the only thing I can hit is this Living Spirit by summoning a rock here. I can't put a rock on existing rocks. It has to land on empty tiles. So that is quite annoying. So this basically means I have to move late. But if I move late, I don't get to use my... yeah, the shields are not that relevant. Right, so I plan to move with initiative 51, so hopefully some monsters move before me. Then I'll get the shield up to protect me against the remaining monsters while giving me enough targets for Rock Slide. So let's see how this plays out. Yeah, this doesn't seem very good, but I don't really have a better plan at this point, so we're going to begin the round. Right, I'm really in the middle. The problem is the Living Spirits are moving last, so it's unlikely I get to hit them. Right, Spitting Drakes move first. They're very fast, and they do nothing, but they do strengthen themselves. Right, the heals don't matter because they're not damaged, but they are strengthened, so we'll denote that by putting a strengthened token here. This will be removed next round. Cave Bears. The Cave Bears move +1. I think they might reach me. Now it's my turn. Let's see the cards that I played. Let's resolve Rock Slide first. This infuses Earth. And we are going to summon 3 rocks. So we definitely summon this rock here. Right here. That's within range 4. 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I cannot summon a rock to hit this Cave Bear. So the only thing I can do is to further block this. Right? This means it's also harder for me to escape from where I am right now. Do I want to block off this path? I'm not sure that's a good idea. I'm really not sure that's a good idea. Don't forget, I've lost my only jump move in Reviving Ether. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Also, putting a boulder here means that I have even fewer tiles, legal tiles to place future rock slides on. So with that in mind, I think I should put this, like, here. Or here. This tile is pretty inconsequential. I think I might put it here. Right? I'm not going to get damaged by it because it says all allies, and I'm not an ally of myself. The only things that are getting damaged are this Living Spirit, this Cave Bear. So that's my top half. Brute Force may be relevant. It's going to be active. I'm just going to put it in my discard. I get to move to shield oneself. I'm going to stay put. There's no reason for me to move here. Right? So just remember that I have shield 1, because now the Living Spirits are going to act. And what's their action? Their action is move 3, range 3. Right? So the only important thing to note here is that this moves here and gets to perform a range 3 attack. Then number 6 will move here and perform a range 3 attack. So I'm going to get hit twice. So I'm going to start actually taking damage. Oh dear, this is a lot of damage. 5 damage from each. Great, that's not good at all. First one. Right, irrelevant. Oh, my Reviving Ether. Did I want to pick up? I did not pick up Juggernaut. So, oh, so this is used up, but this goes in the bin. I used Reviving Ether before using up all the charges of my Juggernaut. I could have recovered it with Reviving Ether. I either forgot or chose not to. Well, the good news is it does soak up a lot of damage. The bad news is I'm now gonna get hit by a second, and it's gonna hurt. Here goes. Second Living Spirit. Ouch. 6 damage. Minus 1 shield, so I have to take 5 damage or lose a card. I'm very tempted to lose a card here. Lose a card. Oh, that's so bad. Okay. So that's resolved, and they heal 1, because the card says heal 1. And then now we resolve the normal monsters. Right? So the normals move 2. I forgot to mention that I wanted to use the stamina potion. I did say I wanted to use it, so yeah, I did. I should have resolved this before letting the drawing attacks from the living spirit. That's my bad. So a bit of a game misplay there. But I am recovering my rock slide and a fairly irrelevant card, say brute force, right? And we'll start the round. End the round, rather. Okay, yeah, this is really not looking good. I think I'm going to exhaust myself. I don't have a lot of cards left, and I've used up basically all my items. Ah, this is so bad. Alright, we're gonna play these cards and start the round. Alright, let's put them in view. The Cave Bears move first. Great. Just great. Cave Bears move 3. Oh dear. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Attack. Alright, I'm going to get hit and immobilized. Great. Just great. Right. Now we are taking actual damage. Shall we see how much damage it does? It's 3 damage. Because it's not elite, so 3 damage. 4 damage. Right? We are not going to lose a card over that, so we're going to lose 4 health. Thankfully, the immobilize isn't very relevant here. Now it's our turn. We are going to shield self. So this is going to be important. We are going to have 1 shield for the rest of the turn. Let's discard that. And rock slide is going to happen again. Alright. We definitely want a rock here. We definitely want a rock here. So this will block off the elite for some time. Alright. And the last rock doesn't really matter. I really want to hit one of these living spirits, but they're just not far ahead enough, so I can't spawn these boulders anywhere. Yeah, I can't. So we'll just spawn them there, I guess. It doesn't really matter. So everything in the vicinity takes 2 damage. And then we shield ourselves from the incoming living spirits, which are going to completely slaughter us. This is really not looking good. I'm losing my immobilize here. But living spirits muddle me with range 4. I think I'm dead. Right, so the elites stay where they are and draw modifier cards. I concede. I can't win. I don't have enough cards left. Right, I'll be forced to lose 1 of the cards in my hand. And yeah. Well, it's disappointing to watch a failed video, but yes, I got completely swarmed by these enemies. Now, it wasn't the worst given my draw. It really wasn't the worst. The thing is, the drakes are so far away, so, you know, I actually have enough time to deal with these enemies here. I think my biggest mistake was squandering the turn when I opened the door. Had I played Rock Slide there and spawned some rocks against the living spirits, I might have had a chance. But yeah, I just completely checkmated myself into this corner. And I can't deal with these living spirits because I've already spawned too many boulders in over here to deal with the earth golems. What a shame. Yeah, had these boulders not been here, I think there might be a chance that I would have actually been able to kill the elite living spirits before they got to me. So I think that was my big mistake. Thanks for watching, I guess. Sad to see this fail, but that was a really hard room to deal with, and today wasn't the day. I also misplayed my Reviving Ether. Completely forgot about Juggernaut there, but I don't think it makes much of a difference. Right. Maybe we'll replay this some other day. See ya.